AITA for telling my sister the truth about why I moved out the day I turned 18?
When I, 23F,
was 10 years old,
my parents divorced. My dad was so mean in the way he spoke to my mom. He always made her do all the housework and difficult parenting, but would swoop in to be the fun parent and apologize to my siblings and I for her behavior. If I'm honest, for a while I believed all the things he said about my mom. And I hated her for years. I still feel so guilty about it too. My dad's friend was my mother's boss at the time of their separation. I don't know if my dad got mom fired, but I assume he did because she lost her job the day after she left him. He made more money than she did. His name was on the house. He knew she didn't have the resources to dispute him in court for very long. So he drew the process out for as long as possible until my mom ended up homeless and living in her car. She lost custody of all three of us and had to move to another state to stay with her sister because she couldn't find work here. Without an address, he cut her off from us and we didn't talk for years. As soon as my mom was gone, my dad began treating me the way he had treated her. It was a total switch from the man I'd grown up with. All of a sudden it was like he hated me. It took that total 180 degrees for me to realize what had happened between him and my mom. I pieced together everything over the next few years. Went through some documents from the divorce that confirmed what I suspected. By the time I was 16 I started saving money to move out as soon as possible, and at midnight on my 18th I took my things and left. I later reconnected with my mom too. I've done pretty well for myself after leaving. I have a job, an apartment, a baby. I'm happy with my life. My sister contacted me a few days ago. She just turned 18 and she wanted to see me. We met at a park and talked for a while. When she asked me why I left, I tried to lie and come up with better answers. But she kept pressing, so I told her the truth. All of it, not sparing the details. She didn't respond well to it. She told me our dad would have never done those things. That our mom was the problem. She said she didn't believe me about any of it. And then she stormed off. I told our mom what happened. And she said that I shouldn't have told my sister at all. She thinks that it wasn't fair of me to shatter her reality like that. Because she's just a kid and our dad is still her hero. I know what it's like to have that reality-shattering moment. And it sucks, but I mean, she asked for the truth. Was I wrong to give it to her? NTA. Abusers are great at being wonderful to some people and awful to others. So the people they're kind to never believe the abuse is happening. It's another form of abuse, a way to make the victim seem like a liar. NTA. She insisted that you tell her the real reason why you left. She's technically an adult. She should have expected the answer to be unpleasant, because why would you have left the minute you could otherwise? NTA. It sucks, but you told an 18-year-old, not a 5-year-old. As long as you said factual things that you could share, you did nothing wrong. Your mother is wrong, but not an awe. I imagine what she went through is traumatic and probably colors how you should handle things. VTW. I understand and appreciate why you feel guilt for believing your father. However, for what's it's worth, you were an actual kid being manipulated by your father. That doesn't make things better for how your mother might feel. But it wasn't your fault. And she wanted to know why, and you told her. She had to suspect something was wrong for you to leave the way you did. She might have stormed off because she is starting to realize the same things herself. NTA. She asked for the truth. And she got it. You didn't do anything wrong. The fact she couldn't handle it is irrelevant. That which can be destroyed by the truth should be. She's 18. It's time. NTA. No. You are NTA for telling her. She's 18, so not a child. And she specifically asked, well done as well for getting out of a tough situation and doing well for yourself. NTA. Telling her the truth is the kindest thing you could do. She cannot live a true free life until she knows, understands, and comes to terms with who her dad is. She may choose to forgive him, but if she's further deceived, it will be entirely on her. Congrats for breaking the chains and charting your own happier path. NTA. How is your mom doing? My gosh, I hope she's more than alright, same as you. NTA. By lying to your sister, you would have turned into your father's enabler. You didn't make your father look bad. He made himself look bad by his own behavior. You gave your sister facts. Whether she wants to believe them or not is up to her. NTA. She asked you for the truth and you gave it to her. Also, your dad was abusive to your mom and later became abusive towards you. So even though your sister may not have had it as hard as you have, though this is mostly speculation, based on the fact that she visibly never had the same enlightenment as you did about your father's attitude, it's best for her to be warned about her father's abusive personality in case he eventually decides to turn against her. NTA. Your mom is wrong to shield her from the truth of the abusive man she is living with. It's not just a white lie told to keep her happy. It affects her entire life. She deserves to know. The truth is not fair, as was your upbringing, but the truth stays what it is. Pure and honest. Don't feel bad for answering a question truthfully. Either your sister will acknowledge the truth at some point and be glad you told her, or she is no better than all the others. NTA. The truth comes out no matter what. Lying would have been way worse. Your sister will come to the truth eventually. If not, at least you have your mom and a new baby. And life. Congrats. You didn't shatter her reality. Her reality wasn't real. NTA. You told her the truth after she asked for it. 18 is old enough to hear what you told her, after all you knew at her age. This makes me wonder if my sister knows the whole truth of why I left home. But since neither of us has had any contact with the only living person who was involved for decades, I don't see any reason to bring it up unless she should suddenly decide to ask 34 years after the fact. Your sister is an adult. You didn't contact her and insist that she hear you out. She contacted you and insisted that you tell her. You are not at fault because she didn't like what she insisted on hearing. Sometimes the truth hurts and is difficult to accept. She really isn't at fault for not being ready to believe the truth either. She's had 5 more years of programming against you and your mother. She may piece some things together and come around, or she may not. But she questioned whatever she was told by your father enough to want to hear your side. That's not nothing. Leave it be unless she contacts you again. Perhaps send a brief message letting her know that the ball is in her court. But that's it. Don't be surprised if there is no response, and don't take a knee-jerk negative response to heart. NTA. Based on your post, the only Oz I see in this situation would be your dad and his buddy, your mother's former boss. We don't know the details about her job loss, but she might have had a case for wrongful termination back then. Enjoy the good life you have made for yourself with a clear conscience. NTA. She's an adult and asked for the truth. You gave it to her. NTA. Like you said, she kept pushing. Also, she's not a child. She's 18 and has a right to know. And if I were in her shoes, I'd want to know too, instead of being kept in the dark while still living with a parent like that. NTA. It's very frustrating to deal with abusive parents. especially in situations where it's your word against theirs. You stayed true to yourself and gave your sister the honest answer she clearly wanted. You did the right thing.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.